Yo, it's Kirby in time. August is here, the big month. For as long as I can remember, it has been Jack Kirby month on Clobberin Times. Uh, August, that is, the month of his glorious birth, the 28th of this month to be precise. And so the tradition continues. I didn't realize back when I just didn't even think about it back when J Man and I scheduled that Batman review that when it didn't even click with me. I didn't think about it for a while there. It was August 1st. But no worries because I actually had something I had to take care of anyway. So it kind of worked out. We were able to do that early, then come back for a little bit of a late stream here. But what the hell? Um, just to get it kicked off, to get Kirby month kicked off. Nothing in particular tonight necessarily, other than just Kirbying around, talking, just basically get the thing started and talk about what we got in store. So, hail to the king, baby! It is here. And hello, 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 my good friends. Show notes. Tomorrow night, I don't have a picture for it or anything, but tomorrow night I will be. No, excuse me. Ugh. Well, tomorrow night I might hang out with if I'm home time, I might hang out with Tom and the fellows over at Midnight's Edge. It just depends on if so. But Wednesday night on Stone Loki's channel, the Great Stone Loki. Apparently, we were returning with the comic book roundtable panel of old, or something similar to that, where I think he and myself and the Great 24/7 will be talking comics. It'll be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then of course it'll give me time to do my show later, my own Wildcard Wednesday show at 9 p.m. Central. So I'll still be, doing my show. I'll just be doing two shows on Wednesday nights. The Loki's comic show, then my Wildcard Wednesday show, which of course won't be all that Wildcard this month because it'll always be Kirby. And then of course, naturally, in addition to Wildcard Wednesday night, whatever the case may be, Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Clobby's Clubhouse with, of course, our wonderful First Officer Raquel and our great Chief Engineer Mark. Obviously talking about a lot of other stuff, but I'm going to definitely work some Kirby into that one. You better believe it. And the only thing that won't really be Kirby oriented will be Saturday night Star Trek. Talking Deep Space Nine, reviewing 4 more episodes. But aside from that, this month will be wall-to-wall Kirby, as it always is, celebrating the king of comics. Because if you love comics, whether you like Kirby or not, whether you're a fan or not, you owe him so much you don't even know. So let me say some hellos. J-Man, I think J-Man just stopped in to say hello. And I did have a great time with J-Man tonight. It was so much fun reviewing Batman 321. I wish I'd have been able to make it a longer show. We will review more stuff together. J-Man is an awesome dude with a great channel and a good friend, and I really enjoy hanging out with him and I had so much fun reviewing the comic, as I always have fun with the classic comic Clobby's classic comic review. So, J-Man, shout out to you, the great Chris Persia. Thank you again for all you do, Chris, and the art you make and stuff like that helping the promoters. You're too kind, buddy. Thank you so much. And so thank you. That of course the great, hungry for that Kira sassiness and strut hubba, the magnificent hungry boy. Hey, buddy, good to see you. Thank you for being here tonight. Guagnar, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Linrod, hello again. Hey. Kal-El, buddy. Hello again, buddy. Absolutely. Markle D with a C. Dude, if you want to hang, let me know. If you feel like hanging, no pressure if you're busy. But let's see here. D. Bud Martin, what is that, man of iron? Always a pleasure. It was a lot of fun hanging out with you on Nick's show the other night. Look forward to it Saturday. Friday. Let's see. I think I got who? Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody. Yeah, so far. Rod Thunderheart, what's up, man? Good to see you, buddy. It's been a while. I hope you're doing great. Just Joe. Jobber, what's up, buddy? Just wanted to say a quick RIP. Yeah, Nichelle Nichols. Yeah, a horrible loss. We'll definitely be devoting some time to her in the near future on Clobberin Times. I know Raquel has a lot to say. We'll definitely be speaking on that on the Clubhouse Thursday night for sure. Larry, what's up, buddy? No Fantastic Four? How do you mean no Fantastic Four? Dadman walking. Hey, man. That's okay. Good to see you, Dadman. I was putting in, if you mean the poll, Dadman, I was putting individual characters, but. And I was, they only give you four options. So, and I haven't even looked at how the poll is doing yet. I figured with the awkward timing tonight of the first show and then having the big chunk and then the second, I figured a lot of friends wouldn't be able to make it tonight, I guess. David Raybon, what is up, cuz? Good to see you. So again, as I was saying at the outset, everyone, anyone who's enjoyed a comic book, whether they're a fan of this particular gentleman or not, especially if you've enjoyed a comic book after a certain amount of time, you owe him. I mean, especially if you're a big fan of comics, you owe him something. And I don't think there's anyone. There could be other people that you could say that about. There's certainly many other great influences in comics history. No question about it. Andy Masterson, what's up, buddy? Andy votes for Cap. Hey, nothing to be sorry about that, dude. I love Cap. I love Cap, man. I mean, true, I'm biased. The Thing is my favorite character, but Cap's in my top 4. So, I mean, top 4 to 5. So I love Captain America. So no, hey, man. I love Captain America unreservedly, sir. So, and I've often said, and I'll back it up against anybody, that Jack Kirby is without a question the greatest creative force of the 20th century. And you might say that's ridiculous. He just did comic books. Well, name me another creator of anything. And Keely Chow, roll tide. Name me another creator of anything whose creations, and in some cases co-creations, and work has spilled over into the following century, and it's been a result that affected pop culture to a degree where his works have created billions of dollars for others, of course, not him, unfortunately. Also, name me another artist of any type who inspired not only other comic book artists and writers and creators, but there have been countless occasions where authors, musicians, and people of very other in other forms of art have cited Jack Kirby as an influence. They read comics as a kid, then went into other fields of artistic endeavor, because of the things that they saw, the things that he communicated through his art and his storytelling and his concepts. Well, yeah, William Shakespeare, but I'm talking about after that. Hey, Decepticon, what's up, buddy? Obviously William Shakespeare, of course. Okay, I'm talking about, okay. Remember, I said the 20th century. Are you guys forgetting that I said the 20th century? Wagner and Linrod, dude, you guys are cooler, but I said the 20th century. And there may be someone else. Look, didn't say I know everything. But in terms of just pop culture, the way he affected it. And in the art form that he exists in, he revolutionized it 3 different times in his career. Hungry Boy, of course, who's worked in the business, says, I helped 5 people break in, told all of them to study the Silver Age King. None of them failed to thank me. I said, yeah, thank the king. Very well said, sir. Dad man says, I just realized that this was my second Jack Kirby month since beginning to follow the channel. Hope to learn more of the show. Well, thank you. You're too kind. Thank you, man. Now I think obviously I was even before I was a fan of his since I can't even really put a finger on when I discovered Kirby. I think I first discovered his art in Marvel's Greatest Comics, which was reprinting Fantastic Four, or his early Fantastic Four. Because at the time when I was started reading the comic and the regular Fantastic Four series, John Buscema had been drawing it. Rich Buckler took over a little after that. You had Perez and stuff. So when Perez took over, and so forth down the line, these different artists. So I didn't discover Jack till around the same time, but it was the Marvel's Greatest Comics reprints. And then, of course, Origins of Marvel Comics, Sons of Origins of Marvel Comics, and so on and so forth, the Fireside reprint books. And then, of course, the big old Treasury editions. Then, of course, started seeing his current work at the time. And somewhere around in the early 80s, of course, I was already a huge fan. There was this big art controversy that some of you may or may not be aware of, where Marvel Comics was holding hostage gigantic portions of Jack Kirby's original art. Every other artist used to get their art sent back to them from after it was used by the printer, if they wanted it. But there were warehouses piled with Kirby art, and they were not giving back to him. And there was a reason they weren't giving it back to him, folks, and we're afraid he was going to be able to make some kind of legal claim on the characters. And this started really coming into light in public circles in the early 80s, early to mid 80s, 83-ish, 4, whatever, somewhere up in there. '85, I think I learned about it around 84, 85, 86, somewhere up in there. And that made me, that was right around the time when I was already like a big, comic history junkie. I was always reading about, in the Comics Journal, Amazing Heroes, and all these different things. I wanted to know about things that happened in the past in comics history. I'm still to this day, I just love comics. I'm that boring bozo that loves to read about comics history and loves Back Issue Magazine and Alter Ego, and I loved the Comics Journal at the time and all that stuff. And I started reading about the Jack Kirby art controversy. It covered in the Comics Journal and other places. And even in 1986, when the first time I got to meet Kirby, there was a Jack Kirby panel where he was on a panel talking about it with let's see, on that panel was Will Eisner, Frank Miller, Bern Hogarth, Gary Groth, a few others, I think. At that con, there were people like Mobius and Harvey Kurtzman, and there were a lot of big names at that con in Dallas. So that was when I started learning about Kirby's contribution. Because before that, I thought it was, like a lot of people, just thought he was the artist. Like a lot, and Stan was one of those guys that would have you believe, who said it many times, said it at points where, the guys drawing the pages were just artists and he did everything. Well, don't worry, I'm not going to go into the Stan controversy here. But I think you all know where I come down on it. You all know where I stand on the whole Stan Lee thing. And there are a couple groups on Facebook that get in trouble sometimes because it's a bunch of people basically talking about, delving into the truth of what really happened and stuff like that, into the Marvel method. In fact, that one of the Facebook pages is called the Marvel method, and sometimes some of the best material, even though I know it's Facebook and it sucks, are on there with a lot of people who are talking about all kinds of very serious research and factual information about who did what. I mean, this is 60 years later, it's still going on. There's a new book out that I've just heard about that I was reading a review of that I plan to get. I think it's called Jack Kirby, the Lost Stories of Jack Kirby, which talk about, and I've been reading a lot of in-depth reviews of it, and I've not read the book yet, but I will. I'm going to go get it. I just heard about it. It was about almost a year ago. I don't know how I'm just hearing about this book. But this book talks about, how do you put too fine a point on it? It talks about a lot of the things that went on. Basically, it does detective work about putting two and two together, and how, in particular, Jack, but some of the other artists also basically did way more than a certain guy who I don't know. A guy who took credit and wrote the credit boxes. Let me just go. Let me just put it like that. And I wasn't there, but I'll always be with the belief that Jack did, when it comes to the creations, did most of the heavy lifting, and I don't think that's coincidental. I think there are a lot of them. And these are people who have done exhaustive research by reading things that Stan actually has full credit for writing, and other things where he had collaborations. Decepticon said, he says, the unpublished Jack Kirby, the unpublished archives are still my favorite trading card set. That is, I have that as well. Still break it out every so often and dream about each design and concept being a series or a movie one day. They have this card set, everyone, that Jack Kirby in the early 80s was hired, late 70s, early 80s was hired by Ruby Spears Animation. We all know that he consulted on the great show Thundar. But they paid him to come up with tons and tons of different TV series, animated series shows, concepts for shows that they never used. I mean, the only one he really got to work on a little bit was Thundar, but they came up with all these different concepts for shows they could use. They never used any of them because I think, didn't Ruby Spears go out of business at some point after Super Friends or whatever? I can't remember exactly, but they went out of business. I don't know if they went out of business or not, or maybe into the 90s, but whatever reason, they didn't use a lot of these concepts. They were probably too high concept for them. But there's a trading card set that is just amazing. I have that as well. Decepticon, I have the whole set. That's incredible, dude. I haven't thought about those in a while. The unpublished archive. Let's see if I can. There we go. I love these pictures, and these. I mean, they're just amazing. Let's take a look at a little of them. Because tonight we're just basically kicking off Jack Kirby month. Don't worry, I'm going to have some actual content and some actual topics, I promise. Yeah, these things are cool. Mark D, what they see is joins us, folks. What's up, dude? Thanks for popping in.
Yep. Happy Kirby month. Yep.
And thank you, man. Thanks for being here. What's
going on with you today, right? You get
huh?
We got two great Clobberin time shows tonight. So
I don't know.
One, right?
I don't know how great they were, but we're here. So.
They were great. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. What's going on with you?
Oh, just hanging out. Just doing some graphic design work, and figured I'd pop in, trying to design a
Well,
logo.
thanks. Oh, yeah?
Very boring stuff. For day job stuff.
Work stuff, huh?
Boring.
I got you.
Boring. Yeah.
Dang. Well, yeah, Sean, I love this card set. I haven't pulled mine out in a while, but every now and then when I do, and now you may want to go grab mine set of this because it's just when I look through these things, like man, it's
$20 on Amazon.
Crazy ideas of the card set. Cool. I mean, just imagine just at least one of these had gotten made. But I mean, it gave Jack something to do. That's for sure. Hey, Max Redstone, what's up, buddy? It's just saying I'm heading over to Durham Royals for a Better Call Saul wrap up, but I wanted to remind you that this election season to vote for Councilor Chescu. But you can't vote for him. But he's dead. Well, he will be dead.
Spoilers.
Nah, well, sort of. I like his Lake 7 references though.
Right.
Yeah, not sure why Roxy's Raiders was never made. Man, yeah, no kidding, huh? About I think I like what was that one there? Metallum. I mean the name. Yeah, Roxy's Raiders. There you go. No, that's Power Planet. Where's Roxy's Raiders at? I like this one though. Bodyguards. Those dudes look crazy.
Yeah.
I like the dude with the no head.
So where his brains at?
I don't know.
Typical guy.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, buddy's daddy. What's up, someone? Still really sick, but driving like. Oh man, sorry, buddy. Good Lord, dude, keep fighting it, man. Don't let it beat you.
Feel better. Feel better,
bro. Oh man, it's just.
You got to use some of those hammer powers,
dude. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So at least one of these shows did get picked up. I guess that thing is nobody wanted. Ruby Spears didn't want to take a chance on stuff. I mean, they did Thundar, and it didn't, which wasn't his fault, but didn't do great. It didn't last long. And then they get a hold of Superman, and they just they were doing Super Friends and stuff. So they figured those are the sure thing. I love this crazy one here. The Cassette Man. What in the hell, Jack? I mean, I love his wackadoodle.
Well, great imagination, yeah.
Imagination is just crazy, some of these things he came out with. How about this one? Animal Hospital. Man. Now, if he'd done a lot of this a little bit before the 80s, who knows what would have happened? Time Angels. Crazy, wacky stuff, man. I would I'd love to have seen it. A lot of wild, weird stuff. Man. Thought Kirby was involved with Turbo Teen. I had no appreciation for that cartoon when I found that out. I had no appreciation. Turbo Teen, I think I don't know. I can't remember if he was or not, Sean. But if you heard that, then yeah. Gas Mask, what's up, dude? Good to see you, buddy.
Hell.
Hope you're doing well. Cardinal Sin's here. Cardinal Sin with
Cardinal Sin.
Thank you for the $9.99 super sticker. I should probably check to see what that is.
It's a #1 fan. It's a dancing pair. Yep.
Thank you so much. You were too kind, Cardinal Sin. Appreciate you, sir. Hope you guys had a good time at that at the trivia thing there. Wish if I'd have been home, I'd have joined you. But hey, Larry, good to see you, buddy.
Yep, sorry, couldn't make it either. Yep.
Yeah, Sundays are just crazy, man. I got parental units to take care of, parent stuff. But never home on Sundays too much. Let me check the poll. First, I got to refresh it. I mean, it doesn't help that you only get 4 choices on these polls. But
yeah.
So why do you just put those 4? I don't know. I mean, just because. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Am I going to like
Benji's in
this?
second place.
No, you spoiled it. I'm waiting for my stupid thing to refresh.
Oh, mine comes up instantly.
Well, yeah, because your computer is at 9,000 years old.
Yeah.
All right, come on. Oh, it's fucking slow thing.
Can you see it in the StreamYard side, or you have to do it only on YouTube?
No, it don't. Yeah, you can't see it in StreamYard.
Okay,
so far, cripes. With 29 votes, Captain America in the lead at 45%, 28% in second place for the ever-loving blue-eyed thing. The Hulk is in 23% in third place, and poor old Thor is way down at 7% with 30 votes. Now Cap's dropped down to 43 with the thing. Look, I love them all, so I don't really care who wins. I know because I know that he's the thing is my favorite, your favorite, but he's not everybody. I'm fine with not being everybody's
they're all
favorite.
awesome characters too, so it's kind of like
they're all great.
What do you like better, chocolate ice cream or chocolate ice cream with whipped cream? It's like, all right, I'll take either. Sorry, to break fruit up, but yeah.
No, I hear you. There you go with the food, man. I'm not hungry enough as it is. December 7th, you know what? I think the Kirby estate still owns those concepts, but I honestly have never looked into it, so I don't know. I think they do, but then again, I can think a lot of things. I don't know if it's doesn't make it true or not. So I would have to look into that. Still,
well, I think what happened too. I was listening. I think what happened too when they finally settled with Marvel, or Marvel settled with the Kirby estate. The late Judge Ginsburg had expressed interest in taking the copyright case, the ownership case, to the Supreme Court. Didn't mean it was going to go, but you kind of inferred, that might be, I'm paraphrasing, but in layman's term, might be an interesting case to come before the Supreme Court. So
this wasn't Marvel in this case, though. That's what he's.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, but the art,
this
the controversy with
the art,
thing. The Ruby Spears, yeah, but the controversy with the art and getting paying the creators, and they settled pretty quick. So who the heck knows what? And then Kirby, the estate or Jack at the time, and I've started reading to learn more about that too. And then they never got all the art back, unfortunately, too. And they were just
not even close.
Yeah, and they were giving away his art to people too. So his artwork got handed out to people would just come in and they have something, and they would
they would just throw them all over the place, giving them to people.
So and
eventually when they gave most of it back, they made him sign it. I mean, they were trying to make him sign shit that they didn't make anybody else sign.
Yeah. Disclaimers and waivers.
At that time, they were, especially in the early 80s, they were worried about certain copyright law in the sense that, the guy's name's on it. Yes, he signed a work for hire contract, but his name is still on those books. Would that be some kind, they were really worried about, of course, Marvel had the huge lawyers.
Yeah.
And they, this is no way. I mean, if Marvel came after you, that was it. But still, there must have been some kind of afraid of him because they wouldn't give him his art.
Well, they were using that as leverage, because that's, and of course now, the art back then wasn't worth nearly as much as it is now. I mean, now it's in the thousands and thousands of dollars. Collectors finally caught up to how amazing everyone's original art is. So, when I used to go to the conventions back, 20, 30 years ago, I think art was maybe at most, like for something special, was $200 or $300, like a cover or something. Of course there were different, but not, and I thought that was crazy expensive. And now that same thing is probably like, a couple $100,000 or something.
Oh, it's insane. I mean, I bought the two pieces from Jack and Roz that I bought from them in 1986 for $45 and $35. Now,
a couple of pages or Kirby
one was
art,
a Captain America page where he didn't have him Cap on the page because it couldn't have. I mean, obviously it was a little bit more if you wanted one with Cap, but it was still a page from a Captain America comic.
Yeah.
One of it from his 70s run, and the other one was from his Sandman comic for DC from the 70s.
And what year did you buy that? Do you remember?
I gave Claude the Captain America piece, and that was 1986. I bought those,
and you bought that for $35. And what was a cap with cap in it? Maybe $100 or something, or
It was a little bit more, but
no? I'm just
at the time, no, I can't remember exactly
can't remember.
what he wanted for that. But all I know is, I'm pretty sure it was 30, 45 for that, and 35 for the Sandman page.
Yeah, but just think of it.
Still a piece of Kirby original art.
You just think of what that would go for today. I mean,
yeah,
it's just I mean, it's and and the thing is, it's so scarce too. So I was watching a show today, and they were talking about a guy was trying to. He's like, should I buy Hulk 181 or X-Men #1? Even and X-Men #1 was a graded 3. And Hulk 181 was 9.0 or 9.2, and both were about roughly 12 grand. So, and the comic book collector, the expert, quote unquote expert, I thought it made sense too. He said, go for X-Men #1 because there's much fewer percentage of copies of those books out there, and it's the original X-Men, and there's a ton of Hulk 181 books out there, unless you're getting like a 9.8 or something, or something crazy that people are 9.6. But there's so few X-Men #1s out there, even though it's a 3.0. And it's a one of the great Marvel comic creations, especially if they do come back to the movies again. But it's just how rare is it if Hulk 181 is a lot easier to find than an X-Men #1. How replaceable, how rare is it? So of course the ultimate rarity is that original art page, right? From any of those books. So there's only one copy of that comic book art from that book. That's it. So it does make sense to me that that artwork is so expensive. I just wish Kirby and all those other creators got to see got to enjoy some of that. I wish they could have gotten to enjoy some of that money. Can you imagine Jack today if he knew he could sell one of those covers, from Captain America or any of his classic books for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's a shame. He's getting some more recognition today. But I always see Stan. Oh, I don't bring up Stan. I always see it's always.
I have no Stan.
So it's like where's I was watching some Comic-Con stuff and there's Stan statues everywhere. It's like where's the damn Kirby statues?
And Kirby started Comic-Con in San Diego,
right?
He was one of the originators of the damn con. Stan wasn't.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
But in his imagination is just so, I appreciate it more and more as the older I get. When I first saw his art as a young, wee lad at the age of, 7, I probably, didn't grasp it as much or appreciate it as much, or I thought it was kind of strange. And then the more you read it and the more you look into it, it really grows on you. So, I think one of the first books I remember was Black Panther #7. Where I really, that's Kirby. Oh, that is actually kind of cool. That art, it doesn't look anything like the other guys that I'm reading right now, but there's something kind of cool about it. So it's,
yep. Politics aside, Jack today would have been smart enough to do the Rippaverse thing and make me out 10 million. He would have. Jack would have branched out. That's for the absolutely for sure. Let's see here. Decepticon says one of the more egregious crimes was using comic art for that 60s Marvel superheroes cartoon. Kirby and Ditko's art was the basis for the animation right on screen. Real brazen. It was pretty. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, just they got to see their art on there and then they get dunked for it.
They didn't get any remuneration for that. Nothing. Probably not, right?
No.
Yeah. That's too bad. Yeah.
No, yeah. I don't know. What can you do?
Well, just talk about how great they are and Kirby was, and just keep the memory alive, and people, real comic book fans, really appreciate them. But if the thing is, if you ask anyone, who's the most famous comic book creator, other than the Stan, as we mentioned, you're going to hear maybe maybe you would hear Ditko, but from a person who doesn't know comics, I don't think they could name anyone other than maybe Bob Kane. They would name, and he didn't, and we know his history with Batman, how he screwed
Well,
over Bill Finger.
a few years ago, a buddy of mine went he was at the con in New York. I guess it was just New York Comic Con. I think it was that one,
Yep.
yes. And he went around. It was just it's not like sort of interviewing, just people. Anybody was wearing like a superhero shirt, which is a lot of people. He walked up to a bunch of
Yeah.
people, just like a study type deal, doing, and asked them, "Do you know who? What do you know about that character on your shirt?" It was it's like he was doing an interview thing. And he's asking them, and a lot when he would run it, for example, a lot of the people, like if they had a Superman shirt, they'd say, "He said, so do you know who created Superman?" And he did this a lot. He said, "Do you know how many times they said Stanley?"
Oh God,
And this isn't a freaking Comic Con,
that's a Comic Con. Yeah.
not the shopping mall. And
Stan Lee created
who
Superman.
created Batman or whatever. Yeah, obviously you ran into geeks that knew, but he ran into a lot of geeks. Whether it was Batman, Superman. In fact, or whomever, it was Stanley.
Stan Lee.
Yeah, and it just goes. I created everything. And normies will normie, Linrod, but this isn't a freaking con. I mean, but yeah, you're right. They're even there now. They go to they swarm the cons too. So there you go.
Yeah, it is mostly normies. There's a fun part of that too, where you try to get people in the hobby, but then people don't read the comics. Unfortunately, it's mostly cosplayers, and I have friends that cosplay. Raquel cosplays, and it's a lot of fun, for people, and I appreciate it. But the comic book conventions really aren't about comics anymore, quite a bit. So that's you do actually in New York, the last time I went, because of the vid, there were many more comics on the first floor. Normally comics are relegated to like the second floor of the back, and it's all Hollywood stuff and movies. But the big vendor, Marvel wasn't there, Image wasn't there, DC wasn't there. They all didn't show up because of the vid. So it was actually more of like an old school con in that way. But
yeah, it's even sometimes when they would ask, he would ask people. Some people that he knew were geeks that they still think that Stan had something to do with creating Captain America. So he never really did anything to disabuse anyone of that notion either.
Right? Yeah. Well, that's the problem too. Stan was a fantastic promoter. God, I wish Kirby had a little bit more of that promotion skill. Although Kirby's not definitely not a wallflower. Who was a kick-ass guy. Yeah, you wouldn't give Jack Kirby any shit. He's a tough cookie. But Jack was a supreme. Stan was a supreme promoter, which Marvel, in a lot of ways, did need. So it was a great combo. My big problem with Stan is taking a lot of credit. And even before I was hanging out with you, and I'd read stuff and I say, and I don't know. I know quite a bit. I'm not going to call myself an expert like you, but I'm like, I don't think Stan did all this stuff. I mean, this doesn't seem right. Got a little suspicious reading all this stuff. And of course, don't forget Stan then did, the Spider-Man His Amazing Friends. He was on that cartoon. He, introing all the, did he intro a lot of the X-Men cartoons or?
Yeah, but the good thing about the DVDs for those mid and 90s cartoons is they got a special feature where you can bypass the stupid Stanley intro.
Yeah.
And mine is permanently set on that.
So then, kids just equate, Stan, and he had a great personality. He's very friendly. He's a great voice, and this is Stan. He was great on that. Just if you're talking about that side of things, and he did. There's no doubt he was there at the beginning and worked on the characters. I just wonder how much of the dialogue, like for the FF, I wonder how much of the dialogue was stands, that first 102 or 103 issues. I wonder what percentage is Kirby and what percentage is Stan in that, and I wonder how much dialogue Kirby actually did in that.
Pretty much all the dialogue is just it got moved off the margins. This and one of the things I was reading about in this guy who gives an elaborate, detailed sort of a review of this book by a guy named Chris Tolworthy's new book, The Lost Jack Kirby Stories. Turns out it's a little older than new, but it's not. It's fairly recent. He says it's a great read, well researched, and very minimally repetitive. Only once did I feel like that he had less than convincing evidence, but in the many other historical examples, his research and logic were so sound. I would have sworn he was once sitting next to Mr. Kirby in 1961 while the man was working. That's how this guy says about this book. And this is a guy.
Wow.
This guy's a comic historian that I trust, and because a lot of them post on this group. I don't know how they get away with it. And he's got a big long synopsis. But one of the things he was talking about was certain stuff. Again, it's too dense to go into here, but all the stuff. It's amazing. I mean, I just got so engrossed in this stuff last night. I was reading till like 4 a.m. of it. But anyway, and I am going to get the book. But basically, what he's talking about is how clearly every writer he worked with, they all complained about it. They had to do the whole story and all the words and all the dialogue. But then Stan would come along and take their dialogue and change it and put it in and take it out of there.
Wow. But he would, or he just, modify it a little bit and then say it's dialogue by Stan Lee, right?
Story. Yeah, and they said he would, he'd add a lot of really simplistic crap to the stories that screwed him up. Photostat shows some pages of Stan changing less than 5 words from what Jack wrote in the pencil. Yep, and Jack has the whole plot written out too.
Wow.
And of course, I've been studying this crap for 30 years now, seeing all this stuff. But the guy with the biggest bullhorn, you could understand how these people feel. This is the guy that there were even a couple of them who just let it roll. Man, I love John Romita's work, but he was one of the guys. He just rode the gravy train for Stan. But guys like Kirby finally got tired of it. Ditko got tired of it earlier than any of them. So, him and Wally Wood and Bill Everett even, but I think he hung around. He went back. I mean, it was kind of the only game in town for him. Whereas Wally Wood and Steve Ditko tried to go work somewhere else and Gil Kane and also for a while. But what were they going to do? But again, it's a big mess. I won't go into it now. I don't know if on Kirby Month I might do a show where I cover a lot of that stuff.
But that's this Hunger Boys post there. You were just reading. That's amazing. If you got the photocopy of the page with all the dialogue on it,
they've been putting it in the Kirby Collector for years.
Yeah,
with the like rough penciled pages with dialogue beneath all the margins and plot beneath all the margins.
Wow.
I mean, remember a lot of that Marvel method. It was nonsense. It would basically, after a while, Jack stopped going into the office and they'd have a 2-minute conversation about. Again, my example is always this. Well, Jack, what are we going to do this month? I tell you, how about Dr. Doom kidnaps Sue Richards and brings her to some island? What do you think? Yeah, sure, Stan, whatever. And it would be, again, I'm exaggerating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it was that kind of, like we would talk about a basic idea or a nugget of a concept that's barely even a concept or an idea, and he's coming back with 19 pages or 20 pages, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
Well, who the hell wrote that story? It's like I say, hey, I got a great idea for a movie, Mark. And I tell you, it's about this guy that kidnapped this person and does this, and it's a hostage, and I talk to you 5 minutes. You go away and make a 2-hour movie, and I put my name on it and say I wrote it. You'd be a little upset.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Like, what did you write, Mother? What do you mean you wrote it? Well, it's my idea. I could have done that. Even if,
right.
And I put my name on it. Well, I'm sorry, but in a lot of cases, especially later when Stan was out of the office all the time promoting Marvel, which was needed to be done, that's kind of a lot of what happened.
Right.
But I'm out there writing all this. I'm a writer. I can write all this stuff in my sleep. And these guys who were doing this painstaking research, looking at stories that, because he was a writer, he did do a lot of writing for Marvel and Atlas before that. And they look at the kind of stuff he wrote, and then they look at the stuff later from the collabs with the Kirbys and the Ditkos and stuff, and they don't add up.
Interesting, yeah. And then Jack was just work for hire there, basically, and at and Stan, of course, was in the hierarchy of Marvel.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
So Stan had a much better position, but of course, you'd think that Stan needed.
He wrote the credit boxes.
Yeah.
This is reasons why apparently late 8, Jack was just doing a lot of. Yeah, look, if you look at the last couple. Maybe 20-something issues or 15-something issues of Fantastic Four, Jack and Thor, his last Thors as well. Jack has said he started holding back all of his better ideas. He got tired of wasting them and something he wasn't getting paid for. And still, the art's great because he gave his all with the art.
Yeah.
But and again, I there's a book. Let's see. The FF Fight Guide. Jack Kirby maps out Galactus trilogy, creates and designs Silver Surfer and Galactus. Stan looks up, God, Galactus. I wrote that. Yeah, and he also said he in one of those Origins of Marvel comics in the 70s. I think it was Son of Origins. No, it was one of them where he's talking about, I came up with the idea for the Silver Surfer, and I said, let's see old Jackson draw this one. Only one problem, Stan. Every other story you've told says that Kirby created him and put him in there because he figured that a guy like Galactus would need some sort of a herald. And I made him a surfboard because surfing was a big thing at the time. And you've admitted every other time before that, and then later even, that Jack created him. Which is it?
Yeah.
Let's see old Jackson draw this one. You can't unprint that. I have it in a book on my shelf where you said that. And there's the book I recommend the most for anybody who wants to learn more about this kind of stuff is at least he said Jack was Kirby collector. It was he said Kirby. He said, I think. He said, I think that's the name of it. There it is. No, Stuff said, sorry. But I say, I'm an idiot. Okay. And this came out in about 2018. And of course, they come out with a better version. But I've recommended this one before, everybody. This, and again, because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of people in this world, men in their 40s and 50s, that Stan Lee is Santa Claus. Just is.
Yeah.
And they won't listen to any reason about him. John Morrow's one of the most fair-minded guys in the world. Yes, he's a Kirby fan. Yes, he makes Jack Kirby collector, but he never throws shade at Stan ever. So this book here, he did. I mean, the painstaking research this guy did on this book is astounding. Because if you know, all of these comics have been reprinted, but the letters pages and all that stuff hasn't been reprinted very often. He had to go through all the originals of these comics, and what he did was Kirby Lee stuff said, and of course there's some Ditko in there. He takes everything. Again, he doesn't give opinions in this book. He'll give an opinion on something they said, and he quotes them. Everything in this book is a quote either from Stan or from Jack. And there are other things that he's got them color coded for who said what, when they said it, what letters page it was said in, what notes it was, different from different sources, where it was said. It's all verified, and stuff that's questionable, he'll put a color code on it. Said, take this with a grain of salt because this is not confirmed. And he'll comment on something. This is I'm extrapolating an opinion here, but he never draws conclusions And this book is brilliant. I highly recommend it. It's very entertaining. And again, you want to see some of the people don't think about it now. Some of the crap the passive aggressive crap Stan used to say about his artists in his letter pages. Forget about private memos. He did it in his letter pages. He just did it in this kooky way. People thought it was just him being funny. It's just amazing. This book is incredible. I love it, and it's very informative. It's got Ditko in there too, but it's mostly Kirby and Lee, and it takes no sides. It just puts at the word in the words the complex genesis of the Marvel universe and its creator's own words. Zachariah, good to see you.
Hey, Zachariah.
Uncle Boy says all Stan had to do was show some respect to the guy whom was more than a full partner, just half of what Kirby deserved. Indeed, and the world of Marvel Comics would have been 10 times richer for the additional 17 years. Oh, it would have been amazing if they had treated Jack well. They'd had him for 20 years, and the comics would have been so much better. Oh, my God. No, yep. But no, Martin Goodman and Stan Lee decided to do their own. Just pisses me off, man. It just really makes me sick. I know. Look, a lot of people don't like to hear it, but it's true. And I've talked about this before. How that In Search of Steve Ditko documentary, where John Ross gets Stan Lee to pretty much admit that Steve Ditko created Spider-Man. Although Kirby actually did do the first proposal for Spider-Man. And Jim Shooter has admitted to seeing, by the way, Jim Shooter has said on a couple of occasions, he tries to walk it back. He said that he's seen he's seen copies of the memo of the original memos for the notes on Spider-Man from Kirby. He said he's seen them. And now he tries to walk it back, but he did say that. He's on record saying it. Stan Lee was in comics since the 40s, suddenly hits a creative high with Marvel in the 60s. And then nothing after that. His collaborators had consistent success before and after. Suspicious. Big time well said there, Sean. No matter what Alan Moore or Frank Miller did, they did not treat Bolin or Sienkiewicz like Stan treated Jack. There, said it. Yeah, well, absolutely. Look, they were, Alan Moore was wackadoodle. He never treated his coworkers badly. And he wasn't the boss anyway, but, Stan had power.
Yeah, what was he chairman for a while too, or what? Stan, what position?
Well, he was publisher for a while.
Yeah,
but actually, he was more of an editor-in-chief type. I don't think he was really. He was somewhere around the mid to late 70s. He moved out to California to manage. It's funny how nothing got done as far as movie projects that really did anything. I mean, unless you call Howard the Duck a success. When, understand they got cartoons made, yeah. Him and his buddy Avi Arad. But, Stan, he was just out there soaking up the life of luxury out there.
I don't blame him, I guess.
Hollywood.
Right?
Jack moved out there too, but he moved out there to work.
Yeah. No, but if you, if you can go out to Hollywood, get paid well, and not have to work as hard, more power to you, I guess, right? I mean, what I can't exactly criticize it other than the credit that he gets for creating a lot of the characters. So that's the problem. So
yeah, no, I hear you. What can you do?
Well, here's the Kirby Museum I found online. Of course,
the Kirby Museum talks a lot about that stuff too. I have some issues with some things to do with them once in a while. I can't go into here, because I knew somebody they dealt with once, but they do some good work. What you got?
Well, there was a new version of the Dream Machine poster, 40 by 17. They don't have a big picture of it, unfortunately. It's 150 smackerel, so it ain't cheap. But and there's a DVD on the interview that Glenn Fleming did with Jack and Roz Kirby. You can buy a DVD of that. There's some cool stuff in there. Yep. And of course, then the history, about Jack Kirby, the biography and photos. So, and I guess they've been scanning as much Kirby art as they can get their hands on, which is great.
Yeah, they have done that. I can't say much about that, but they have
Yeah.
done that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would love. I had a dumb dream one time. Not a dream. That's literally a night. A dream. I mean, something that I thought, man, I would if I like a bazillionaire and won the lottery, one of those type things. I would open up the ultimate Jack Kirby museum, a real. I mean, Jack, not just they call themselves the
Yeah.
Kirby Museum. It'd be a real one that people would. They would call Kirby Land or Kirby. I'd do something. It would be where people. Again, I would. I don't care how much whether it made money or lose money. I would just have people come visit it and see Kirby's. To celebrate Kirby.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, it's an American success story too. I mean, uh, parents were
Hey, Oliver
parents.
Belamonte.
Hey, Oliver, and it's Snail Messiah too. Yep.
Stay on the side. What's up, bud?
Yep. So I guess where his parents were immigrants, right? Weren't they? Or
Yes.
yeah, so he's first generation. Yep. So born in
Yep.
1917. So think of the world then,
Jakob.
just end of World War One. Yep.
Yep. Jakob Kurtzberg was his name.
So
And
it's a different world back then. Yeah.
grew up in the streets of Oh, did you see this? There was this I found there was a video on, I guess it was Twitch the other day. There was it was a very, very poor quality video, but it was from obviously because Jack passed in 1994, and this was at you could tell, I think it was at a comic shop, some kind of signing or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was talking about what was he talking about? I forgot exactly what he was talking about, something that got on the subject of some wimpy piano player he was talking about that was trying to make out, trying to hit on his then girlfriend Roz or something. And he talked about how he basically talked about how he was a tough kid, I guess. He just how he kicked his ass, how he threatened to kick his ass and stuff. Jack was a little dude, but he was a scrapper.
Yep.
I wouldn't have messed with him.
Yeah. And of course, when he created Captain America too, then they was promised, as my understanding too, they were promised a lot more money from, I guess, back in the time, was it a Timely Comics? And
yep,
they didn't get credit for that too. Yep.
In 1990, with the picture up in my top corner, you guys, that's the picture's not in great shape. That's me meeting the Kirby, the King right there. We both had glasses. Yay. As you can see, I'm a little bit taller than him. But he was telling us all kind of stories. He told us a story about how when they were doing Captain America, that they got a bunch of neo-Yazis came to Marvel Comics wanting to fight him, and they had Jack wanted to go fight him.
He would have, right?
Yeah. He wanted to go there and fight those. He told us all kind of fun stories. He told us stories about the war. He told us a story about Patton. Basically, they were in. He was part of one of those some kind of movement where I forgot that his group wasn't expected to live, and Patton was pissed off that they were alive or something. He told him.
That sounds like something Patton would say. Yeah. So he was in the third army. Yep. In World War II. Yep.
Sean, I bought that book. I have not read it yet. You liked it? I bought the hardcover. I need to finally go and read it. I'm glad you reminded me. I totally forgot about it. It's an interesting book. A lot of people don't like it because of the art in it, but I like it. I think it's pretty cool myself.
Well, Hungry Boy needs a new V key, I guess. He says V key is buggered.
What?
Hungry Boy is trying to write, but he said sorry, my V key is buggered or messed up on his keyboard. Hungry Boy. He needs a new keyboard. I hate it when that happens. Yep. That's why his spelling is so off. Yep.
Oops. V key, eh? What is a V key?
in between C and B.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, V as in V as in
V
Twitter.
V is in
I'm
Victor. Yeah,
sorry.
the key. Yeah, not
Oh,
yeah,
that. Yeah,
not
Sorry.
yeah. So that's why his spelling is all. Press any key. What's the any key? Yep. Yep.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't want to keep everyone too late. I just wanted to come back on and talk a little bit about that we're gonna. I've got a few ideas that I'm gonna do for Kirby. Listen, by the way, I would run one by you. um, if I do at least, I might do at least one for sure, maybe two classic comics reviews, and naturally it's gonna have to be a Kirby book. I was thinking, would you like to review Fantastic Four number 51 with me?
Oh, sure. I'd love to do that. Yep.
This
This
monster,
monster.
folks, the
Yep.
great. That's one of the greatest comics of all time, in my opinion. And I think that'd be the perfect one to do. So we didn't have to be in a hurry. If you can,
No.
let
And
me
you
know
got to
which.
get you got to get your poster up eventually for that.
Well, yeah, dude. You know how much it costs to frame a poster?
Oh,
It's like
sorry. Yeah,
that.
that's true. Yeah,
It's your fault. You
that's
should be
my
sorry.
fault. And
You
Raquel, no,
should definitely
Raquel.
be sorry. Yeah.
Raquel, that was a gift from Raquel. I enabled some of the.
Ah.
I facilitated. Yep.
Larry, it's funny you should ask that. I was just talking about my favorite Kirby comic to Mark here. We're going to review it. It's got Fantastic Four number 51. This monster. I mean, it's probably impossible to pick a favorite Kirby comic, but if I had to single one out, yeah, that's going to be the one for me. Even though it's not really, people think of it as a thing story. I mean, it's technically it is, but it's also about Reed Richards. If you know where I'm coming from.
Yep.
I should pull up that cover probably too. But if you know what I mean, it's and in a sense, I don't know if you could call it a thing story.
Well, it's because that cover and that splash page is so iconic.
Yeah,
I think that's why. So people just see it and instantly, boom! It's a thing tale. I mean, I have a statue based on that. Of course, you got that amazing poster. It's just one of his most amazing comics. So I gotta pull that. I got the statue tucked away in the back shelf. I'll have to pull it out for give a close up for that show.
Yeah, it would be this one, Larry, for sure. I think. I mean, and I happen to own a copy of it signed by Jack Kirby on the opening page, on the splash page. I had him sign it later. I had to, unfortunately, I had a tragedy and an idiocy. By the way, I've had to sell my Fantastic Four collection in the '90s, but the one I didn't sell was the one I got Jack to sign for me in 1986, I think. And it's this one right here. This monster. Yeah.
Plus, that title is perfect too. That encapsulates the thing. You know, he's a man, but he's a monster, right? So it's just the perfect title. Amazing cover, and the splash page is even better than the cover. As good as the cover is, the splash page is even better.
It's the greatest. One of my favorite Kirby covers, and it is probably easily my favorite Kirby splash page. But then I'm prejudiced because we love the thing so much, you know.
Yeah. But that image has been used over and over and over and over, you know. And then you got the thing in the rain. And actually, I think I do own this issue too, but mine's not signed yet, obviously. But I got that.
Guagnar says my favorite. My first Jack Kirby comic was very convoluted because it was Marvel's Greatest Comics number 88, which was a reprint of FF 108, which was an unpublished Kirby comic with a John Buscema wrap up story in it. Yeah,
Interesting. Yeah. So that was an unpublished. And didn't they do do a series years later, like in Kirby's art style of trying to remember what they called it, where what if the Kirby continued on the FF? Do you remember that series?
Are you talking about that 30th anniversary thing they did called Marvel's Greatest World's Greatest Comics magazine?
I can't remember what the heck it was called now, but I just remember it was all artists,
We had a bunch of different artists that were copying Jack with 12
Jack's,
issues.
Yeah, for 12
it was
issues.
called
Yeah,
World's Greatest Comics Magazine.
thank you.
I like that
yeah.
book.
That was good too. Yeah. But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Marvel's, and some of them where they said, I wonder if they had. So that one was unpublished Kirby story. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really, because it was, what was it, 103 when Jack left.
102.
FF?
I think 102
Or
was his last one.
102 was his last one, right?
Yeah. It was a framing sequence by Buscema. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Listen, let me find. I'll find that. Let me find that. It was called World's Greatest Comics Magazine, and that's before World's Greatest. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. It was 12 issues. I don't know if I think they did a trade. I've always meant to get the trade, and I don't think I ever did. But I still have the regular issues of it though, somewhere.
Yeah, I just remember really enjoying it, and just the art was really really good in that one.
Yeah, it was Bruce Timm and a lot of other artists aping Kirby, and World's. There we go. Okay. And World's Greatest Cut Magazine issues. We'll find out the visuals of it. There we go.
And the funny thing is, I've told you this story before. World's Greatest Comics. I for a while, like I love that Torgo. It's in the 90s, I think. Ben gets kidnapped and goes to the planet. 91, 92, 93. And I'm like, I know I had those in my collection. I'm looking for them. And then it turned out I had a bunch of the reprints. But as a kid, you got so many comics you remember. And I'm like, Fred, where did those issues go? I lost them. They're gone. And that was World's Greatest Comics. Yeah.
Yeah, this one here. Remember this?
Marvel's Greatest Comics. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's for World's Greatest Comic Magazine. It was 12 issues of it. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was the story was just sort of there, I guess, but I didn't get. Look at how cool the covers are.
Covers are great. Yeah.
I mean, the covers alone, the interior is okay. I mean, again, you're telling people that it was an homage to Kirby. This was the 40th anniversary, right? And I bought them all. And I'm sure you did too.
I got them all too. Yep. I was happy about that one. Yep. Much better than that FF tribute they did recently. Yep.
God. Much better than that, and also much better than the one they did 10 years before that for the 30th was poopy. The 20th one was pretty good. From Fantastic Four 236. But when Byrne was still good on the book.
Oh, okay. Yep. Well, that was when. Yeah, I liked all of Byrne, but yeah, I know you dropped out after.
Issue.
You dropped out.
I stuck with him for a while there.
Yep.
The Search for Galactus. Now you'd think Kirby himself did that cover.
I could, yeah. I could picture that, yeah.
Look, if they came around right now and did us a 12-issue series just with this style art where they look just like this, but it was a new story, but with a throwback type story, I'd be buying it, and I'd be so happy.
You'd actually buy a new comic, yep.
I'd buy a new comic. Oliver Belamonte says, do you have a favorite hero and villain from Marvel and DC by Jack Kirby? For Marvel, did you see our poll? Did you vote in our poll there, Oliver? For Marvel, let's see. From DC, Kirby. For Marvel, Captain America and Galactus. For DC, Commander and Darkseid. Those are your favorites, Oliver? Well, I got you. For me, it's easy. Marvel, it's The Thing and Doctor Doom. And for DC, it's he didn't do many gigantic names for DC as far as heroes go. So I'd probably just say Orion and Darkseid. Although I love Commander. So what about you?
Well, yeah, not to copy, but obviously The Thing is my favorite all-time character, and Doctor Doom is one of the all-time greatest villains ever ever created, ever written. So got to go with those for Marvel. And yeah, on the DC side, yeah, Darkseid is I think his greatest villain on the DC side. On
yeah.
heroes, who would I pick for Kirby
Yeah, he didn't create a
DC?
lot of the bigger heroes.
I mean, Orion is a great character. That's the
Yeah.
you know great. What were they? What was the? What were they called? I'm closing my eyes and picturing all the covers.
Huh?
I'm picturing all the covers from the issues. I'm trying to remember what uh, Orion. What family? What was the
The
name of
New
their
Gods?
the New Gods? Thank you. Yeah, you sometimes your brain just
Sure.
does it. You're
I hear
like,
you.
come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I said I'm
Rest of me.
closing my eyes and looking at the covers and trying to see what the words.
At least you
it
didn't say
said.
the Forever People. So.
Yeah. So I mean, probably the New God. So you pick Orion, not to, but and Omac was a great, but that's wait, was Omac Marvel? Or was that DC? Omac was
Omax DC. I like
DC,
Omac.
right? Omac is really cool
And of
too.
course,
So maybe
Commandy.
I'd pick.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd pick Omac, I guess. Yeah, but I did love the New
One
Gods.
man
And,
army corps.
yeah, the New Gods were pretty cool, and Genesis, and then Mr. Miracle considered his creation?
Oh yeah.
Or? Yeah,
He created
so they're
created
Mr.
Mr.
Miracle.
Miracle the Demon. There's the thing for Kirby's DC creations. There aren't. I mean, they're not like the Marvel ones. I mean, he's got again the New Gods stuff with Orion and those guys. He's got the Forever People. No one really remembers those guys that much, even though they were connected to the fourth world. Mr. Miracle, Omac, Commandy. Aside from that, he didn't do a lot. He didn't really create any. Darkseid's probably the most impactful character he's created for DC. He created for DC, and obviously that Darkseid source goes hand in hand with Orion, but most people remember Darkseid before Orion.
Yeah.
So he's probably the most impactful character that they created for DC.
Yeah, so I think, and I love Mr. Miracle. Read a lot of Mr. Miracle comics, so it's and he's had some. They had a Mr. Miracle. Well, I know you don't read the new stuff, but
Yep.
maybe 10 years ago, it was pretty
Tom
highly
King
rated.
thing over there.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. That was pretty good. So, but yeah, that's I mean, for someone who didn't work as long at DC, I mean, the New Gods, of course, that movie got squashed.
So far, let's hope they don't bring it back.
Yeah. So 20 years ago, we might have been really excited about it. But not so much today. But,
It would be worse with the person that they had in charge of the New Gods movie. It would be worse than Eternals, if that's possible. You don't think that's possible, but it's possible. Okay, as bad.
Yeah.
Worse may not be possible, but as bad as possible.
Yeah, God, the Eternals. Enough said about that.
Eternals. Mm-hmm.
That was really bad. Really bad stuff. Yep. Not so good. Yep.
Yep.
But I just love the idea of Mr. Miracle and kind of like a Harry Houdini type, like magician, and the escape, and kind of like Batman in a way too. You can never keep him in a trap, and always figure out a way to escape, from everything. So it was pretty well done. Yeah. So, yeah, I just really liked reading about those New Gods, and had a couple of those origins of superheroes too that had them, and yeah, great imagination created another whole world there, right? So he's created the mother box too, which was used in that movie we don't like so much, but in Darkseid, I have to say that the special effects on Darkseid were pretty cool in the movie. That was well done.
The idiot Hack Snyder didn't know what the mother box was, and he just totally got it wrong because he's a dumbass. He totally misused the mother box because he's a freaking idiot. That's nothing to do with what Kirby wrote. You know what the mother box is? You know that thing that we have as an appendage now that we all carry around with us? called that has a phone app on it and a computer app on it and all that shit. That it's heavy.
Yeah.
And it's in our hands 24/7 hours in a day. That's a mother box. Now these phones can't shoot a boom tube yet, but it was his computer and it was all that stuff.
Yeah.
Kirby, predicted the smartphone after Star Trek predicted the flip phone,
Yeah.
basically. But Hack Snyder didn't know what I remember when I was watching that crap. I don't know if that was in both stupid versions of the Justice League, but like that's not what a mother box is, you idiot.
Yeah.
What a freaking moron.
Yeah.
But again, you guys didn't read any actual comics, did you, Hack Snyder? You're too busy reading heavy metal. Nothing wrong with heavy metal, by the way.
That was great too. Yeah, yeah.
But he didn't do any research. They didn't know anything. They said Darkseid, we're gonna make him look cool. He didn't look cool to me, but he looked more like Uxas.
Yeah.
Like it was what he was before he became Darkseid. Well, Decepticon. Ava's A Wrinkle in Time movie was dull, unimaginative, and not fun, and I love that book. So I shudder to think what she was going to do with the New Gods. We dodged a bullet. Well, that movie was not made for you. That's what Brie Larson said. Oh, wait a minute.
Maybe no, that was Oprah in that? Was that the version of Oprah and they took out all the religious elements of the story?
Probably. I don't know. I'm sure.
I think.
He's talking about the movie, so.
I never watched it, but yeah, I heard it was people that read the book were quite upset, and it didn't actually do that well in the theater. So, yeah,
it wasn't made for you, toxic male, Sean. Yeah, Brie Larson told me so. Oh dear.
So Hungry Boy loves the book. There's a fab book, read it 3 times. Yep.
Yes, a 70-foot Oprah. I can't believe I just typed that. Well, it is disturbing. That's pretty dang disturbing, sir. Wow. A 70-foot Oprah. I'm having nightmares now. Oh, boy. Well, I guess we should probably let everybody run. It's late.
Yeah.
And we
Clobberin for tonight, right?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to, kick off the Kirby month. It's going to be, I'm going to do some righteous Kirby-ing, folks, this month.
Yeah.
Amongst other things. What you got going on?
Toxic Tuesdays tomorrow night. They're doing Airplane.
You gonna be there? Or no, you're not gonna be there.
I'm probably going to be at my weekly summer poker game unless we didn't have enough players and it got canceled. So, so I'm going to be doing the slideshow for Airplane, and that would be really fun. Don't call me Shirley. Hey, what's not to love love about that? So, and Nick Weiser had not seen it, so it was just
that's just disturbing.
Unbelievable.
That's disturbing.
Very disturbing. Very disturbing.
Yeah, disturbing shall now be ushered into the formal lexicon. Yes. So let it be written, so let it be done, Hungry Boy.
And I'm probably going to do a review of my, since it's Kirby month, maybe I'm going to do a review of that Legends action figure. I think that was the Captain America one.
Captain America one? Yeah.
Captain America, I got to do, I'll rebox it and unbox it again. Don't tell anyone. Double unboxing.
Oh, Kidoki.
And and then of course, we're going to talk about the clubhouse, I'm sure, and Wednesday night. But
Yowza.
Yep. And then my most popular video last month was the clip Avon saying, "I'm not expendable." So.
What you mean this?
What about you?
What about me?
Why don't you go?
You are expendable.
And you're not?
No, I'm not. I am not expendable. I'm not stupid, and I'm not going.
So, on my videos don't get tons of views, but all of a sudden, like a couple of days, it got 60 views a day. I don't know why. You wonder how the algorithm works, but
Avon. When Avon speaks,
yeah,
people listen.
You check your YouTube analytics, like, you're your most popular video this month. So that was fun. So it did better than the "You'll Be Happy." It did better than the the Funko Pop Galactus
Well, that's
video.
good to know.
Right?
Oh my goodness. Well, everyone, thank you so much for being here tonight. Show notes, then we'll say our goodbyes. Tomorrow night, I could be on with. I guess I'll try to be on with Tom and the guys at Mead if I'm maybe. But I know Wednesday night I'll be another two shows. I'll be on with on Loki's channel. Loki's Mornings of Mischief is bringing back the comic book. I don't know if it's going to be called Roundtable or what he's calling it, but the comic book show for Loki's. I'll be on there with 24/7 and Loki, and I think we'll be talking about Dark Horse comics then and now, I believe, and some other stuff as well. Not sure exactly, but we are. Let's see, that's 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It'll be finished in time for me to get ready to do my Wednesday night show, my usual Clobby time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for a wild card Wednesday night, but it'll be a wild Kirby of some kind. And then Clobby's Clubhouse with Raquel and Mark. Obviously other stuff there, but I'm going to work some Kirby into that because it is Jack Kirby month. And then let me see. Then of course I will be on Loki's stream Friday morning at 8 a.m. to review the final episode of this season's Orville, and then Friday night on Nick Weiser's great channel for the Comic Shop Talk, where we'll continue our reviewing of the classic comic from the 70s, Nova. And then Saturday night, Star Trek, same Trek time, same Clobby channel, reviewing Deep Space Nine. So looking forward to that. And don't forget Sunday Night Geekery on Mark's channel.
Thank you. Yep.
10 p.m. Eastern. Isn't that right? Yeah.
Yep.
So.
10 p.m. Eastern. Yep. And there, Hungry Boy, there's your Galactus for just, because you. I think that's cool.
That's fine. I may be overreacting a little bit.
That's okay. Yeah, it's the blacklight version of those awesome blacklight posters they had.
Not that bad, I guess.
Yeah.
It's okay. What the hell? All right.
If you were forced to own one Funko Pop, that would be the only the one you might
probably
not burn,
the big
right?
thing one.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because it's been, I have an excuse to be the thing. So J-Man was here earlier. I think he had to run, but shout out to the great J-Man. Had a great time hanging out with him tonight. Reviewing that comic. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. The great Chris Persia. Chris Persia, always a pleasure, buddy. Thank you for helping out. Great to see you, man. Thank you for all you do. Lynn Rod, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you to the great Hungry for that Kira's sassiness and strut. Hubba hubba, the great Hungry Boy. Good to see you there, partner. Wagner, thanks for being here, my friend. Appreciate you so much. Oh, I didn't finish the poll.
Oh yeah, we always forget to close the poll.
Let me
right?
finish the poll. I always forget. I forgot the other night completely. Freaking forgot the one the other night. It's so annoying. Whichever one it was. I think it was for the Clubhouse.
Yeah, it was
so let me finish the poll and I will
yeah.
continue saying the goodbye. Sorry, everybody. One of these days, I don't know. I'm gotta make some kind of a note somehow. Come on, you freaking
computer.
Hello, computer. It's just slow ass. It's not YouTube. I mean, so okay, here we go. Okie dokie, Focalies. Here we are. Hang on. Okay, my question was, which of these is your favorite Jack Kirby character? Captain America, The Thing, the Hulk, or Thor? Captain America in first place at 46%. Oh, let me close the poll first. With 39 votes, Captain America weighs in at 46%. In second place, oh no, the Hulk has passed the thing at 25%. Damn it!
What? Should have closed the poll. Should have closed the poll earlier.
Closed it. Third place is the ever-loving blue-eyed thing. This is a disgrace to humanity.
And look what happened.
Thor at 5%.
Galactus just fell over. He's so
I
upset.
can't see it. I'm looking at the other. I'm looking at
Yeah,
the other screen.
he just toppled
Oh
over
my
when you
God.
said that he toppled over.
I don't blame him. That's just horse hockey. Oh my God. Well, that's just.
He squashed the surfer. He killed.
I
the
don't mind him
surfer.
not beating Captain America. I can understand that. I really can, because he's Captain America. But the Hulk beats up on him enough.
Yeah, not fair.
Totally not fair. Gore Emmett.
And when those Yancey Street gang, they probably went in and started to vote for the Hulk after they voted for
That's
Cap.
probably what happened. Yeah, freaking
Those-
Yancey Straighters.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kal-El, thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate you, man. D-Bud, brother, appreciate you. Good to see you, man. I can't wait to see you Friday night at Nick's. The great Rod Thunderheart is here. Good to see you, buddy. I hope you're doing well out there, staying safe out on the road. Just
Safe
Joe,
travels.
my buddy, Just Joe Jobber was here, bro. Always a pleasure. Larry was here. Hey there, man. Dadman Wonky popped in earlier. Dadman, thank you for being here. The great Andy Masterson was here earlier too, man. Andy, one of these days, we'll come on and talk some comics, man. He said he voted for Captain America. That's respectable. Right? We can understand that. Voting for the Hulk over the Thing is not acceptable, however. Let me see here. All righty then. Decepticon, Sean, buddy, thank you for being here, man. Really appreciate you, sir. It's great to see you, my friend. Always a pleasure. Let's get you on and hang out and talk soon, man. Review something, because it was a lot of fun hanging with J-Man and reviewing tonight. Dave Rayborn, what's up, cuz? Good to see you, David. Max Redstone popped in for a split second. Good to see you, Maxie, I should say. Maxie Redstone. Maximum Redstone. Hope you're doing all right, bro. Maddie's daddy, a.k.a. Steve, Mitchum, brother. Good to see you, man.
Feel better.
Feel better, buddy. Gas Mask, I hope you're doing well. And have a great rest of your night, Betty. Go get some sleep there, because you're too young to be up this late. Just kidding. Cardinal Sin, another guy that's too young to be up this late. Cardinal Sin with that 999 super chat. Thank you so much, my brother. I really appreciate you. And have a great rest of the night. You're too kind. Hang on. I think we got everybody, but wants to be sure. Zacharot popped in, so you didn't get everybody.
Yep.
I had Oliver Belamonte and Stale Messiah. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Now I probably have everybody. See, you cannot count your chickens. So I believe that we've got them all. Yeah, got them all. Yeah, that's here. Alrighty then, that's going to cause a bit of confusion. Mind if we call you Bruce? Hello, Bruce. Here we are. Okay, that is Cripes, I think, jumps on you. I think I got everybody. If I missed anyone, I am deeply repentant, and please forgive. I think I've got everyone. Welcome to Kirby Month, folks. Jack Kirby Month. Everyone, please have a fantastically wonderful remainder of your night and week. And catch you on the streams. And play us out with these wonderful messages and credits. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. The end credits didn't play, but it's okay.